this new report that showed that Social Security and Medicare may run out of money in the not-too-distant future. So how can Americans plan for a potential Social Security shortfall? Joining us right now, Liz Miller, who's with Summit Place Financial Advisors. Liz, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
So Medicare, the report says, would be out of money by 2026, not too far down the road, and Social Security by 2035. How realistic should people be to plan for those incomes as they get ready for retirement?
Well, I think they need to make very specific plans for taking care of themselves. When we talk to those in their 50s, and to me, that's the real market that's affected by this. They're looking out potentially 15 years plus before they retire, and that's coming right against those Social Security estimates. So we have a lot of clients in that age frame asking us, what do we do? What does it look like if there is no additional income? The savers that are younger than that, most of them aren't even thinking Social Security. So I'm not as worried about that population, particularly really even in the 30-year-olds. If they are saving, they totally believe it's all on themselves. But our clients that are in the 50s, we're starting to look at, well, let's see what you have and what does it look like without that extra income.
And what about health care? I mean, that is a huge concern for a lot of people as they get closer to retirement age, right?
It is, and those numbers are scary, coming up very quickly. I think there is part of the population who's sort of ignoring it, sure that something will change. Somehow this will get fixed. And as we know, that can be very dangerous. The Fidelity estimates, of course, are pretty high, but we like to put into perspective, the estimates are for a couple. And really, almost 2/3 of those estimated expenses are for what is now Medicare premiums and prescription kind of expenses.
Right.
So one of the things I like to talk to couples about is, what are you spending now for health care insurance, and what are you doing? Because what they worry about is thinking that that big nut is a completely unplanned catastrophe. And that's not what experience shows us.
And you've done a lot of work on how much people are going to have to pay and get ready to pay when they get to retirement on health care.
Well, when they get ready for retirement on health care, they're going to have to pay a substantial amount. The other thing they have to remember is when they think they're going to retire at 65, which many workers say they're going to do, many more are retiring at 62 or before they think they're going to because of a healthcare emergency, because of disability, because of job loss. What happens then because you can't get Medicare until you're 65? So how are you going to pay for those healthcare expenses earlier on? That's something else that a lot of people need to think about now.
I don't want to be complacent about this, but I can remember when I was in my 30s and the warnings were that I shouldn't wait for Social Security to be there when I'm getting ready to retire. And here I am getting ready to retire at some point, and it's still solvent right now.
Right.
So are we whistling past the graveyard here?
Well, demographics have a lot to do with Social Security, and somehow that's kind of the rut we're in at the moment, because the millennials were sort of delayed in starting their careers. If there are enough younger people working, putting into Social Security, it helps the rest of us get through. So it's the ultimate of a good pyramid scheme.
All right. Liz Miller with Summit Place Financial Advisors. Thank you. Sharon, as always, thank you for being with us tonight as well.